Come on in, baby. How y'all doing? Come on in. We're gonna do a quick talks with Auntie. Y'all come on in. My lighting is not good in here, y'all, so the only light I have right here in this room that I'm in, the only light that I have is the light from my laptop and the little can light up there. So we're gonna try to make this thing work. But I just wanted to pop in. I just launched a November mega sale for my academy. So when y'all go to LatoyaOkiaAcademy.com, you're gonna see our mega sale. It's 10 masterclasses. It's the masterclass bundle. And we bundled 10 masterclasses, and it's over $10,000 worth of value in that one bundle. But for the month of November, you're able to get that for $177. So that's our November mega sale. To my divine ones, y'all check that out, baby. Get everything you need to level up spiritually and in business too, okay? So this is what I want to come on here and talk to y'all about. This is something that God just was speaking to me and revealing to me. And we just about to do talks with Auntie. This is talks with Auntie. As a woman, okay, God done just revealed so much to me and then showed me so much, and I have grown and I have developed, and I'm just glorifying God and thanking God. And every chance I get to be able to share the wisdom and the insight that God done gave me, I said I'm gonna get on and I'm gonna do it, because we don't know. We don't know when it's our last chance. We don't know when it's our last day. So I want to encourage y'all to do that too. Forget them folks. Put that in the comments, baby. Okay, that's from Auntie. That's straight from Auntie. Forget them folks. Okay, forget about what folk gonna say and what they gonna think and all that other stuff. People's opinions of you and what they think and that don't even matter. That don't even matter. When you stand before God, God ain't gonna want to hear nothing about what Sally and them said and what Susan and them were talking about and what Billy and them was over there talking about. Forget them folks. That's it, baby. Put it in the comments. Forget them folks and get in your purpose. Get in your purpose. And then to women, I want to speak to my ladies, baby, because we doing this glow up transformation training. If y'all ain't signed up for that, get in that, because this is one of the things that I'm going to be talking to the ladies about. We're going to be going more in depth with this in our training, but I wanted to discuss it on today's talks with Auntie. This is what God put in my spirit. As a woman, let me say this, as a single woman, or even if you're married, you have to get serious about your growth. You have to get serious about your glow up, whether you have a man or not. And if you do have a man, then this is for you. If you don't have one, this is for you. And you in between, this is for you. You got to get serious about your glow up. You got to get serious about your transformation. And I'm going to tell you why. You got to do that for you, not for nobody else. You got to do that for you. So this is what God spoke to me. He said, it's not about getting him. It's not about getting a man. It's not about keeping a man. It ain't nothing about that stuff. Glowing up has nothing to do with the man, but it's all about you. He said, it's not about getting him. It's about becoming you. Ladies, I want y'all to write that down. I want you to put that in your journal with your blue ink pen. Say, my glow up, my transformation is not about getting him. It's not about attracting my kingdom husband. It's not about attracting a man. It's not about, now, if you married or you with somebody, that's what I was telling the ladies in the training. You getting your glow up, you getting your transformation, he will be able to benefit from that. He'll be able to benefit from that, and he will reap some of the fruit of that. But this is for you. You doing this for you. It's not about you getting him or attracting him. It's about you becoming you. So this is a self journey. This is a self job that you got to do for yourself. So whether there's a man there or not, whether there's somebody there with you or not, you got to start loving on yourself, and you got to start giving yourself the best in every area of your life. And it don't have to be money. It don't have to be you buying yourself the best of the best. No, it starts with your self-care. I want y'all to put that in the comments. Say self-care. It starts with your self-care. So care for your soul, care for your mind. I was talking about this with the ladies in our training. We talked about addressing emotional pain. I did a session with them the other night. We talked about addressing emotional pain. We talked about healing the little girl that's inside. It's so many grown women that are wives, that are mothers, that are grandmothers, that are great grandmothers. This thing go deep. It's so many grown women that the little girl in them is still crying. The little girl in them is still hurting. The little girl in them is still bleeding. And she's still crying, she's still bleeding, and what's happened is she has become, excuse me, my battery going dead. What's happened is she has become a 35-year-old woman who now bleeds on her children. Because the little girl is still hurting. The little girl is still crying from the person that was supposed to come and protect her that didn't come and protect her. The little girl inside is still crying because of how somebody treated her, or the abuse that she went through, or the things that she carrying with her that she never could tell anybody else, that she never could say to anybody else. The little girl in her is still bleeding, is still crying. And what's happened is, like I said, she has become a 35, 40-year-old woman that has no idea why she is mad at the world. I used to be mad, and I couldn't even tell you why I was mad. I was just mad, and I carried that expression on my face. I kept my face balled up and mad. Anytime I see a woman that has that, y'all call it the resting bee face. That's not cute. That's not cute. As a woman of God, that's not cute. How God gonna get the glory from your resting bee face? What you doing by doing that is you repelling your blessings. Before they can even get to you, you push them away. You pushing off the abundance of God. So you have to go to the little girl inside. You have to go to the little girl inside. And then, as I was talking about with the ladies in the training, that as women, we have both energies. We have the masculine energy. We have the feminine energy. But when we trust in God more than anybody else, more than anything else, when we go back to the little girl, the word of God says, except we be converted and we become as little children, we will not enter the kingdom of God. We got to go back to that little girl. She's still bleeding. She's still crying. She's still upset. She's still disappointed. You have to address that, because if you don't, baby, it's going to affect the way you treat your daughter. It's going to affect the way you treat your son. It's going to affect the way you show up with your husband. That price is too much to pay. You only get one life to live. That price is too much to pay. So you have to get serious about your transformation for you. I wouldn't even tell you to do this for your children. You don't do it for a man. You don't do it for your children. You do this because this is your duty as a woman. You do this because you owe this to God to heal. I tell the ladies, I told them in the training, you have the right to be hurt. I'm not taking away anything that happened to you. You have the right to be hurt. You have the right to cry. You have the right to be upset. You have the right to be mad. You should be mad. You should want to fight somebody. You should be bitter. You should be upset. You have that right. But you don't have the luxury to stay there. You don't have the luxury to sit in that pain. You don't have the luxury to keep waking up every day in that toxicity. You don't have the luxury to sit there year after year, decade after decade, and stay in that pain, because meanwhile your children are growing up. Meanwhile, time is passing in your marriage. Meanwhile, all kind of stuff is happening, and you not showing up as the best version of yourself because of that little girl that's still hurting, that's still bleeding, that's still upset. And so then when we become an adult, we become a grown woman, you realize, you see how toxic it is to say, well, when is my kingdom husband coming? When I'm gonna meet my kingdom spouse? When it's like, whoa, wait a minute. We got to work on you first. We got to get you together first. Because if God sent him and the little girl in you is still bleeding, the little girl in you is still crying, the little girl in you is still upset, what gonna happen? You gonna bleed on him. You gonna go to snapping at him. Come on now. You gonna go to going off on him. And this is what God revealed to me. Because God, let me tell y'all something. I done seen a miracle. I seen a miracle last night. And let me tell y'all something. God got men. God got women that love him for real. Do y'all hear me? Don't get caught up in what you see on social media and these folks on the podcast and this red pill stuff and all. Listen to me, baby. That's the enemy. The enemy, he will always try to be louder than God. He will always try. He's going to be on your mainstream. He's going to be on your headlines. He's going to be on your For You page because he's trying to drown out what God is really doing. He will always try to be louder than God. That's why God told me as kingdom ambassadors, he said, you cannot be quiet. It's no longer can we be quiet. We got to speak out. We got to be louder than the enemy because he's constantly trying to be louder than God. People that's really living for God for real, people that's really serving God, people that's really happy in their marriage, people that's really living that life, people that's really wealthy, they ain't loud like that. They somewhere quiet. They somewhere quiet. They somewhere enjoying peace. They somewhere loving on their wife. They somewhere loving on their husband. They somewhere enjoying their children. They have nothing to prove. They have nothing to show. But see, because of that, they don't have anything to prove and they not posting, they not showing. The way this world is, the world done taught us that if you don't see it, then it ain't happening. If it ain't being posted, then it ain't happening. And that's a lie. That's a lie. That is a lie, baby. Because the people that's really enjoying life, the people that's really glowing up, the people that's really getting transformation, they somewhere too busy in that moment. They too busy enjoying that moment. And they may be so busy enjoying that moment till they just didn't have time to pull out their phone. They wasn't worried about putting it on their stories. They wasn't worried about showing it to everybody because they was too busy enjoying that moment. And I want you to get to that place in your life where you become that woman, and men, if y'all listening, that you become that man, that you be so busy enjoying the moment, that you be so busy enjoying life and squeezing everything that life has to offer you, like you maximizing everything that God has given you in this life. And if it just so happened to come on camera, then it do. But you ain't going out of your way because this is the life that you live. This is every day for you. Blessings and abundance is every day for you. Come on now, this is what happened when you get your glow up. This is what happened when you glow up in Christ Jesus. And so back to my women, this has to be done for you. It cannot be done to attract a man. It cannot be done to try to get the attention of a man. It cannot be done. I know as women, come on now. Let me speak to that vanity a little bit. I know as women, we dress up. We want ourselves to look nice. We want ourselves to look good because it look good. You feel good to be admired. It feels good to be admired. It feels good to be told that you're beautiful. It feels good to be seen. But what you're doing, it has to be for you. It has to be for you. So I get it. The outside compliments, the outside attention. But before you seek any of that, you validate yourself within. You glow up for yourself within. I was telling the ladies in the training, we as women, we have to work to fill our cup first. We have to work to fill our cup first. And then when we fill our cup so to the point where we overflow, We have loved on ourselves so. We have embraced relationship with Jesus Christ so, to where we got so much love. We are radiating the love of God. You are so full that you don't feel like you lacking anything. And you could be completely single. You could be single as a dollar bill, but you feel so full in the love of Christ. You feel so full in your purpose that you radiate love because you give love. When you love yourself as a woman, when you love God's people, and I'm talking about just the natural you, you got to love. Listen, yeah, I got on this hair. And I got on this stuff, and there's a little filter up here on this thing because I'm trying to light this thing up. But when I take all this stuff off and I get rid of all of this stuff and I get down to just me and my cornrows and no makeup and no jewelry and no nails and none of that stuff, I got to love me. I got to love me. That's what I'm saying to women. You got to love that. And then everything else is just a bonus. The hair is just a bonus. Come on now, the lashes is just a bonus. The nails and the jewelry and all that stuff, that's just a bonus. But do you love the woman underneath? Do you love the woman underneath? That's it, baby, heart posture. So it's not about getting him. It's not about getting back at anybody. It's not about glowing up. It's not about any. It's not about stunning on somebody. It's not about showing somebody that, yeah, you ain't want me, but I bet you want me now because I done glowed up, because I got this, because I got that. You have not truly grown until those things do not matter to you. They do not matter. And I'm not saying you say they don't matter. I'm saying that really within your soul, you know, in your mind and in your heart that you could care less. Because you're too busy in the moment. You're too busy enjoying life. You're too busy glorifying God. You're too busy living in your purpose. And then whatever come out of your cup, that's what the man get. That's what the husband get. That's what the kids get. That's what the family get. They get what's coming out that cup. Come on now. I think I heard, who was it? Iyanla was speaking about that one time too. That what's in my cup is for me. And so as a woman, you have to do what it takes to fill your cup. Actually, what I'm doing right here, right now with y'all, this is part of me filling my cup. Because this is my purpose. This is my service. This is when you fill your cup, is you doing something that is unique to you. It is you doing something that fulfills you. Every woman, you got to have that. You got to have that, baby. Do you hear me? I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom. I don't care if you're a well-kept housewife and your husband. To my man, thank you to my man. I don't care if you, baby, you might be that woman. But you got to have you something that fulfills you. You got to have something for you. You got to have something that's sacred to you. You got to have something that fills you up, that lights you up. And that's only for you. It ain't for them kids. It ain't for your husband. It ain't for your mama. It ain't for your auntie. They might not even understand why you love this thing so much. But you got to be able to have your space where you do you. And when you do you, it lights you up, like you feel good, like you feel like I show up more happier now to my kids. I show more love to my kids now. I'm more affectionate to my kids now. Why? Because I found my work of life. I found my space. This is my lane. This is where I can do me. This is where I can give. This is where I can serve. This is where I can make an impact. Because a lot of times as women, we bitter, we mad, we upset because we ain't found our work in life. We don't know our purpose. And it is very toxic of us as women to say, Lord, send me my husband. I want my husband, when you don't have that space that you created for yourself. That's why I said it's not about getting him. It's about becoming you. You have to become you. You have to become the woman that God has created you to be. And then when you loving that and you enjoying that and you loving on God and you loving his people through your purpose and you loving yourself and you so focused on what God done called you to do and you taking care of your children, you taking care of your household, and you not crying yourself to sleep no more. You going to sleep with a smile on your face. You got peace. You waking up. You going to different places. You going on self dates. You going on walks by yourself. You might be going to a whole concert by yourself. Now you got friends, you got people you connect with, but you enjoy that time with you and God. You enjoy that time, and when you just locked in on leveling up and glowing up, and you so full from your purpose and from your work of life, guess what happened? Guess what happened? You giving off love, you radiating love. So what you think you gonna pull in? What you think you're going to attract? God got to send it back to you. He got to send it back to you. What you've been putting out, eventually that will come in the form of a man. That will come. If that is your desire, then that will come, because that is law. That is law. By law, you're going to attract what you are. You're going to attract what you're putting out. So this is why, as women, we don't have to ask when our kingdom husband gonna show up. We ain't gotta ask when I'm gonna meet my husband. We ain't gotta ask when. No, you radiate love. You give love. You serve your purpose. You heal. You get rid of that bitterness. Get rid of that bitterness. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. We don't see the world for how the world really is. We see the world for how we are. And so because I have changed and my mindset has changed and I'm thinking more about love and service and my transformation done happened and I'm steady growing, I'm thinking like, okay, other women doing this too. Like, oh, baby, God gave me some eyes over these past couple of days to where I was able to look at women in a different way. And let me tell y'all something. What I quickly seen, that ain't the story for a lot of women. Y'all understand me? That ain't the story for a lot of women. It's a lot of women that's hurting. It's a lot of women that's childish, that's still childish. It's a lot of women that's still dealing with stuff from the past, stuck in the past. It's a lot of women that's insecure. It's a lot of women that's overwhelmed. It's a lot of women that's overworked. It's a lot of women that's tired, that's stressed out. It's a lot of women that's mad, that's bitter, that's angry, that's upset. That's what I'm seeing with women. That's why I had to make this training. That glow up transformation training, God said is needed. It's needed. It's needed. So if you that woman, baby, I want to encourage you to get in that training. You need to be in now. You need to be in now. And when you get in now, rewatch the bonus session that we just did. Do the work. And we're going to do another live teaching on November the 7th. Because God showed me, he gave me a new set of eyes, and I saw the world for what it is. Because when you in that space and God has delivered you, let me tell y'all something about kingdom living, real kingdom living. God creates a euphoria for you. He creates a place, a environment. It's almost like your own personal Eden. God creates a personal Eden for you to live in and exist in. And your days are just so peaceful. And your life, it don't matter all the hell that be going on in the world. God creates a euphoria for you. And you live in peace. And you be going through stuff. You be losing stuff. You be getting sick. But it will not be the way it is in the world. It will not be the way that it is in the world. Because he said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So you be going through some stuff, but it won't be like how Susan and them going through. God take the sting out of it. And he creates a euphoria for you. It's a euphoric environment, a place of calmness, a place of peace. And so when you live in that space, it ain't got nothing to do with a physical space. I'm talking about spiritually, because I could be anywhere. I could be in a hut and I would still have this feeling that God has given me. It is the presence of the Holy Spirit, and it's just calm, it's just peaceful. And anybody that know me, anybody that's been connected to me, they'll tell y'all, Toya is different now. Like, I'm more calm, I'm more laid back, I'm just peaceful. Like, I hardly ever get upset. Like, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, with my children, I'm like, I'm getting too soft. Like, look, I used to get on them, but I used to be. Listen, now I'm like, I don't even get mad enough to be able to whoop. They ain't got no whooping it. I don't know how long, baby. And probably never get another one. But it's just because my life, God has created so much peace in my life that I just be like, now, you know you weren't supposed to do that. Now, why you did that? You know you weren't supposed to do that. Now, and I punish them, but they get different punishment now. Like, they get their game taken, or they get their phone taken, or their car get his tablet taken. It be that type of punishment. But I'd be like, now you know you shouldn't did that. Why you did that? But that took glowing up. That took transformation. That took time. And so I just want to come on and share that with y'all today. That is not about your glow up, your transformation is not about other people. It's about becoming you. And like I said, what I'm seeing with women, God, like I said, God created that euphoric environment for me. So I've been living in a place of peace, meaning that I haven't been seeing what's really going on in the world. So God had to pull me out of that place of peace so that I could really see that, Toya, this ain't the story for women. This ain't the story. They not living in that euphoric environment like you are in your mind. They not living in a place of peace. They living in a place of hell. So God showed me that. He showed me that. And that's why I said I gotta serve. I gotta speak. And like I said, if you're able to get into training, get into training. If not, get on these videos. Watch these videos. I give y'all so much value right here in the video. All the information you need to change your life is in my public videos. If you want more, then you come to the academy. But I get online and I give the knowledge away. I give it away for free. There's over 1,200 videos on my YouTube channel. There's over 200 episodes on my podcast. I give it away to you for free. God said there will be no excuse. There will be no excuse. Now, at the point that you have consumed the free and you want more, then you come to my academy. Then you invest in one of the courses. And even when you get to the academy, there are free courses there for you on the academy. There is no excuse. Ladies, there is no excuse. Come on now. There's no excuse. So I love y'all. I love y'all so much. I love you so much. It's all in love. I say all of this in love. But it can't be about other people. It has to be about you. This has to be between you and God. This has to be between you and God. Everything that you do, it has to be between you and God. And then everybody else will just reap the benefits of that. Listen, either they're going to reap the benefits of your glow up, or they're going to suffer the consequences and the penalties for your complacency, for you just sitting there, for you not getting your healing, for you not getting your glow up, for you not getting your transformation. Everybody around you will suffer. It will be like you spreading poison to your kids, you spreading poison to your husband, you spreading poison to your coworkers. Either they're going to reap the benefits of your transformation, or they're going to suffer the consequences of your disobedience. So we have a call on us as women. And men not exempt. But I'm telling y'all, this training is for women. It's for women to glow up. So you have a call on you as a woman. And then I'm telling you, when you start walking with God, when you find your work of life, when you start healing, the little girl inside, you start showing up softer. You start showing up more peaceful. You start showing up with a smile on your face. And then I'm seeing how most women do not smile. I used to be that woman. I'm seeing how a lot of women are angry. God showed it to me when I went in the store. God showed it to me when I went in the store. I went in the hair store. Was it yesterday, day before yesterday? And when I tell y'all, and these were the women that worked in there. These were the women that worked in the hair store. And let me just say this too, side note. Black women, listen, because you can't come for me because I'm one of y'all, okay? Black women, we got to do better in these hair stores. Come on now, we got to do better in these hair stores because the customer service is, the attitude is, the childishness is, and then listen, you don't never know who you serving. You don't know who you serving. You don't know who you talking to. You don't know who you laughing at. You don't know who you making fun of. You don't know who that is. Come on now. And God said, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. You don't know who you talking about. So that's something that we have to be conscious of too as women. Because as women, some women, you still got that catty spirit. You got to let that go. You got to let that go. You got to address that. You got to heal from that because you blocking your blessings. You blocking your blessings with that catty spirit. You blocking your blessings with that pickified. That's what we call it down here. Pickified spirit. You blocking your blessings with that childish spirit. You blocking your blessings. Listen, when I was a child, I responded like a child. I acted like a child. I thought like a child. But when I became a woman, see, come on now. I did it too. I used to do it too. But when I became a woman, I put away childish things. And now I must be about my Father's business. So we got to do better. We got to do better. And so, especially with the narrative being for black women, for the narrative being that we are strong and we are angry and we are rah, 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 rah. No, we changing that. We changing that narrative. We changing that narrative. And we're going to start showing up more softer. Why? Because we trust God. Because we trust God to do the heavy lifting in our life. Because we have gone back to the little girl. And this ain't just for black women. Now, I'm speaking for all women. But y'all get what I'm saying. I'm speaking like as far as with specifically black women, because that has been the narrative for so long, that we are the strong black women and we mad black woman. No. We killing that narrative because we trust in God. We're going back to the little girl that's inside of us, and we are healing that little girl that's inside of us. We are allowing the love of Christ to heal that little girl. So that we're going to go back to being daddy's little girl. We're going to trust God to be the masculine presence in our life. We're going to trust God. And then in that process will allow us to show up softer. That process will allow us to show up more peaceful. That process will allow us to show up with a more pleasant spirit, more pleasant energy. That's going to allow us to show up happier for our children. We're not going to be snappy on our children like we used to be. We're not going to be snappy at our husbands like we used to be. We're not going to be popping off at the mouth like we used to be. No, because we trust God. And see, when you allow God to be the masculine presence in your life, you realize that you don't have to go off on anybody. You don't have to check anybody. You don't have to read somebody. You don't have to know. My Father do the heavy lifting. And I'm just going to be the woman, baby. I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to be the woman. And I'm going to go with the ease and the flow. And I let the Holy Spirit fight my battles. That's what it means. That's what it means. But when I was in that store the other day, the Lord gave me another set of eyes, and he showed me the reality of women. And again, I made a reference to black women, but I'm not just talking about black women. I'm talking about just women in general. He showed me that experience when I was in that house store the other day. And I said, oh God, I'm glad I'm doing this training. I'm glad, and I got to speak on it more. I have to talk on it more. I have to coach on it more. Because we got to heal the little girl. We got to heal the little girl. Because when we don't heal her, we still mad. We still mad. You still mad at your child father. You still mad at your ex-husband. You still mad at some woman for taking your man. You still mad about all kind of stuff. When you in God and you know that if anything, God got anything with your name on it, can't nobody take that from you. See, we got to get our relationship with God A1. We got to make that relationship with God strong, because that sets the stage for every other relationship in our life. It is a insult. It is an insult to God to ask him to send your husband. As a single woman, it is an insult to God to ask him to send your husband and get mad when he don't send him. It is an insult to ask him to send your husband and you don't have A1 relationship with God for yourself. Because if you cannot let God be that masculine presence in your life, if you cannot trust God to be your provider, to be your protector, to love on you, to take care of you and your children, what you think gonna happen with that husband? When the man shows up, let me tell y'all, this is what I done seen. When the man shows up, because everything outside of us, our relationships with other people, it is a mirror. It is a mirror. So when the man shows up, he will only reflect what you have with God or the lack thereof. I'm going to say that again before we go. When a man shows up, he only coming as a mirror. He coming as a mirror. So when there is a physical man in your life, and I'm talking about the man that you give time, you give energy to, that's who you attracted. The person that you give time, energy to, they share time and space and energy with you. Not the people that's coming up to you, not the people that's DMing you, not the men that's calling, that's trying to hit on you and all. No, and that approach you in the grocery store. We can't control who come up to us. I'm saying the one that you choose and you spend time with and you talk on the phone with and you go on dates with and you connect with, that's who you attract. That's who you attracted. And so when that man shows up, he will only be a physical representation of what you have with God. Now, if you have created a powerful relationship with God, you talk to him all the time. You stay in your word. You reading, you studying, you growing, you self-developing, you investing in yourself. You have mentors, you have leaders, you have coaches. You take trainings, you take courses. You are working on yourself, and you're no longer in that spirit where you're saying, when he gonna come, Toya? When he gonna come? Like, I'm ready to meet him. When is he gonna show up? Okay, I done did all this stuff y'all told me I need to do. When he gonna show up? You know what you sound like when you doing that? You sound like my son. You sound like my 12-year-old son. That when I take his game away from him, he does all the things that I tell him he needs to do in order to get his game. And when I don't give it to him, he get in his mind and what he'll say to me. He thinking, I done did this, I done did that, I done did it. Why I can't get my game? Look at your attitude, son. Look at your attitude. Your attitude in itself lets me know that you're not ready for it, that you don't need it. Come on now. Because it should not have a stronghold over you. It should not determine whether or not you have a good day. That's how God know you ain't ready for it. Because it determines whether or not you feel like you loved. It determines whether or not you have a good day. And God said, when I see that let me know you ain't ready for it. Because you should be so full. See, you should be so full off the love of God, off your purpose. And let me tell you something, baby, it gonna take your purpose. It gonna take your purpose. It's going to take your work of life, because that is what's going to occupy you. You need something that's going to occupy you. You need something that's going to keep you fulfilled, that's going to take your attention off of a man. And I'm telling you, when you take your attention off of him, that's when he going to come. That's when he going to come. And it's going to be at the moment that you least expect it. That you least expect it. And it's going to be in the presence of God. You're going to meet him in the presence of God. And it's going to be at the moment that you least expect it. It's going to be at the moment that you are so full that you are no longer looking for him, because you know he's looking for you. Come on now. You ain't got to look for something that's looking for you. When it's looking for you, it's going to find you. So I just wanted to share that, baby. I just want to share that man, when he do show up, he going to be the physical representation. If you have an A1 relationship with God, you trust God, you know God, you hear God's voice. Come on now. God is the masculine presence in your life. You are daddy's little girl. You lean on your daddy for everything. You trust your daddy for everything. I'm talking about your heavenly Father. You have a relationship with Jesus Christ. You trust him to provide for you. You trust him to pay your bills. You trust him to keep you safe. You lean on him. You trust him. And because you trust him, now you show up softer as a woman. What you think gonna happen when the man show up? Everything that you had with God, you will now have with this man. Come on now. Everything that you have with God, when the man shows up, he's a physical representation of that. Now you have a physical representation of God's love. Now God has a physical human being that he can love you through. Now when he touches you, you will feel God touching you. Now when this man loves you, you will feel God loving you. And this is how you will be able to confirm that he is the one. When women say, how I know he the one, how I know he the one, this is how you will be able to confirm. That's what God revealed to me. And this is a prophetic word, too, for a lot of women, because some of you are getting ready to come into that season. And that's why God got me speaking this, because he lining you up for that season. And he telling you this how you going to know he the one, by getting with me first. And so when the man show up, you're gonna be like, oh, well, this feel familiar. This feel familiar. And you will be able to check every box, because he will be the physical representation of what you have created with God already. This is why it can't be about getting him. It has to be about becoming you. Because if you don't have a relationship with God, if you can't hear his voice, if you lost in the spirit, if you confused, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, you don't know nothing about your purpose, you don't know nothing about your work of life, you don't have no relationship with Jesus Christ, you masculine as they come, because you ain't trusting God to be the masculine presence in your life. You thinking that you the one that got to work hard, and you the one that got to take care of this and take care of that, and you have no real experience with God. You have no real encounters with God. Only thing you know about God is what you heard your mama say, or what you heard your auntie say, or what you heard. Listen, when a man show up, then let's back up. You don't have none of this with God. You're not emotionally available with God. You're not being vulnerable with God. You're not crying out to God. You going to God like you got it all put together. You got an upside down relationship with God. What you think gonna happen when a man show up? He will mirror that. He will be a reflection of that. So it won't be no y'all being emotionally available for one another. Nope. It's going to be one of the two. Either he going to be emotionally unavailable to you, or you going to be emotionally unavailable to him. Or it might be both of y'all. It ain't going to be no real intimacy. It ain't going to be no real conversation. It ain't going to be, come on now. Because it's going to be something that's going to be lacking. And whatever that thing is that's lacking, it's going to be so impactful that y'all will not be able to move forward. The relationship won't be able to succeed. The marriage won't be able to succeed, because your relationship with Jesus Christ sets the foundation for all other relationships in your life. If you have turmoil in your relationship with Jesus Christ, then it's going to show up in other areas of your life. Come on now. And women, when we look back over our life, we see it. We see it. We see it. It went downhill with that man because you didn't have nothing with God. Not for real, for real. I ain't talking about that go to church on Sunday and you put on your Sunday best. I'm talking about relationship. I'm talking about Thursday night. You on your floor, on your face, crying. You praying. You in Bible study. You talking. You having whole conversations, whole prayer with God. You having nightcaps with God. You falling in love with Jesus. Come on now. You trust in God. You daddy's little girl. You trust in him. God said when I send your husband, he said it's going to be just like how it is at the wedding when the father passed his daughter over to his son-in-law. That's how God do when he send your husband. What he done gave to you, what he done did for you, when he sends the man that's for you, he going to say, all right, I'm still here. He said, I'm still here. But he said, now I got to now I'm bringing. He said, now, daughter, you done got to the place where you're whole enough. Now you done got to the place where you trust me. Because the man going to fall. He ain't God. He human. He going to fall. He going to make mistakes. He might lose his job. Y'all might fall on hard times. Y'all ain't got the money y'all used to have. And he said, if you don't trust me now, what you think going to happen? What you think gonna happen? Because as that wife, you got a responsibility to pray. You got a responsibility to your family to keep your husband lifted in prayer. Keep your children, keep your household lifted in prayer. So you got to have that with God now. So God said when he come, he said, now I'm going to pass him. I'm going to pass you over to him. I'm going to pass you over to him. And he said, now where it was just me and you, he said, now it's a 3-ring cord. Y'all ever seen that movie, Not Easily Broken? With Taraji P. Henson and Morris Chestnut? Go watch that movie. Because that's what the man was explaining to them in the movie. He said, now, when you get married, he said, that's a 3-ring cord. Now it's a covenant of you, God, and this man. But before the man come, you have to have a covenant with God. You and God must be in covenant. And then when the man come, now another person joins the covenant. And now you have somebody that you can feel the love of God through. But if you never felt the love of God before, you won't be able to confirm who this is that's standing in front of you because you don't know what it feels like. You never experienced it for yourself. So you have to experience it for yourself. It cannot be about getting him. It has to be about becoming you. And you have to be willing to do the work whether you get married or not. You have to be willing to do the work whether you get in a relationship or not, because you owe you. It ain't about getting him. It ain't about getting no ring. If you do get one, wonderful. If you don't get one, wonderful. Because it's about becoming you. Okay, I love y'all so much. My phone finna die. I'll check in with y'all later. Go to the LatoyaOkillAcademy.com website. The movie is called Not Easily Broken. It's got Taraji P. Henson and Morris Chestnut. Great movie. Great movie. Y'all need to watch it. Y'all need to watch it. That's your homework, okay? And go to LatoyaOkillAcademy.com and take advantage of the November mega sale. 10 masterclasses, over $10,000 worth of value. One of the classes in there, I'm showing you how to create a 6-figure course as a life coach, and that is thousands of dollars because you're going to get that in return. So over $10,000 worth of value, business and spiritual information for you to level up. The November mega sale, it's only $177 for the whole month of November. I love y'all. Ladies, join the Glow Up training. We still have spots available, so come on in, come on in. I love you, and I'll check in with y'all later.